Guys, this is without doubt the biggest reveal we've ever done on the channel. We started this channel as a hobby, doing BMWs and 350Zs and cheap and simple cars. But as things have progressed and we worked harder, we always had a dream to do something that nobody else has ever done before in our space in the drift world, and that's build the craziest drift car in the world. We actually bought this car 6 months ago. I bought it sight unseen and sent the boys over to grab it. I've never seen it, we've never seen it. We've hidden it away here at one of our friends' garages for 6 months until we got all the pieces of the puzzle together. They're all together, and I'm now going to reveal our biggest project today. I even find it hard to say this out loud. Believe me, this is not something normal, but this is our new supercar drift build. We have a Lamborghini. We actually have a Lamborghini.
It didn't feel real till this moment now.
I knew, look, we obviously bought the car, we paid for it, and we knew the plan, but I've never actually seen it in the flesh. And you know when it's on your phone or it's in pictures, it just doesn't feel like it's yours. And like, we never imagined ever having something like this. And it's not a normal Lamborghini Gallardo. There's a lot more to that, but we'll show you that later in the episode. But yeah, there it is. It's not going to look anything like this when we're done, but this is the starting point, and it's not a bad starting point. It is a very cool car. Obviously, you now guys can figure out that this is the reason we were getting a kit from Liberty Walk for something that's wild, and this is going to be a drift car, so it's not going to be a show car as such. It's a bloody Lamborghini. We have a Lamborghini.
Dude, we have a fucking Lamborghini.
And here we are, an actual Lamborghini Gallardo. But unfortunately, we're going to absolutely tear it to pieces and make it into a mentler car than anyone else has ever built. But this is the basis, and if it starts like this, you can imagine how crazy it's going to be when we're finished. We're in a Lamborghini. Okay, ignore all the blue and cream and all this stuff. Everything, as you know, is going to be changed from top to bottom. The plan for this is massive, but as a standard car, I've never even sat in one of these before. Look at the gated shifter. We'll give it a start. Are you ready? This thing is wild! Seeing our very own Gallardo driving around Dublin city streets is just as unusual to us as it is to you guys. We never imagined being in this position, and we will let you guys know how all of this was possible later in the video. It's far from a straightforward story, believe me. For those of you who don't know, we are a small team from Ireland that started our journey organising small drift events. We put our heart and soul into those events, and over 10 years, they grew from a couple of hundred people at a cattle mart in Ireland to packed out stadiums worldwide. It's been a tough road, but what always motivated us was going against the odds and breaking new ground. When events shut down for nearly 2 years, we lost over 85% of our business. With no other option, we decided to put that same dedication and passion into making our own car videos. But we never imagined a moment like this, announcing our own Lamborghini drift project, partnering with some of the most influential companies in the automotive world, or that people would even care or support us this much over the last few years. But here we are. In a country like Ireland, where the government is hell-bent on taxing the petrol car out of existence, we have a small window to build something very wild and very special. So for better or worse, we took that chance.
Can you believe it, guys? On the Drift Games channel, we have a bloody Lamborghini. We started this as a pipe dream a couple of years ago. Small projects in a small shed. Thanks to our family, thanks to our friends, thanks to our sponsors. Thank you most of all to you guys at home. We are now going to build one of the wildest cars the world has ever seen, because we're building a damn drift car out of this Lamborghini. And of course, you might think it's just a supercar. It's just an old Lambo. Well, as you know, we don't do things by halves. And this car, it has a lot of us in it, because it isn't just a V10 Gallardo. It's got a goddamn 2JZ!
We hope you guys enjoyed that little night run in the Lambo through Dublin, and we're going to get to a lot more on the Lambo in a couple of moments. But in the meantime, we're bringing it up the ramp here to the Drift Games studios, and we did a big revamp of this place a couple of episodes ago. You guys might have seen it, might not have seen it. You should go back and watch it. But it's got a new garage. It's got a new carcade. It's got a new 11/7 convenience store. It's really, really cool. You guys should check it out. But before we get to the full story of the Lamborghini and how it came to be, I've got to give a big shout out to one of the companies that made it happen. And I've got some news there as well. Into our new carcade we go. We absolutely love this space. But one of our biggest supporters over the last 5 or 6 years, no matter how crazy the idea, no matter how much it was out of our reach, that helped us all along, was Link ECU. We've been partners with them for over 5 or 6 years. We've run all of their products on our cars, street and drift. And I'm excited to announce that we are now official resellers in Ireland of Link ECU on the driftgames.live website. We are going to carry the full range, and if we don't have something specifically for your car, we can get it super quick. So go check it out when you get a chance. But this also arrived. So this is the new G5 from Link. This is just unbelievable. Like, this thing not only looks good, but the power this has, this is going to make a huge difference in our Lamborghini build, because we are going to install the full Link ECU range in that car, and we're going to be shooting for 1,000 horsepower. And that's coming up in a few episodes time. But we're jumping ahead. We got to go back to where the hell did this car come from?
You can bet 100 at a time that I'm in the blues. Learn how to live amongst the animals on front of zoo. Said he got a plug on the merch, total send it through. Lately I've been looking at them prawns like they minuscule. Ooh, hold on, gotta see it through. I might hold a sword or the Drake. I got different views. We can't even go out on the walk. We got different shoes. Told you I was supposed to stop. I ain't get the news.
All right, guys. You've obviously got so many questions. Why did we buy a Lamborghini? How did we buy a Lamborghini? What did we buy it for? There's a whole story behind this, but I'm going to try and keep it really quick. It started last July, would you believe, that we had a chat with all the guys at Drift Masters, and we said, how do we make Drift Masters an even bigger and better show? The competitive driving is next level, the broadcast is next level, but there's something missing for the fans that are there in attendance. Well, I decided to come up with something pretty insane. We would have a Drift Games halftime show. We'd also add pit parties to the pits and a big after party after the event. Drift Games would be handling all the fun side, and Drift Masters, of course, as they always do, handle all of the competitive side of drifting. So we then said, okay, what'll we do? Well, we've got time on track. We should bring some crazy builds that are local to each country and have them show off for the fans. But then we thought, well, if we're going to ask the people to do that, we need to have some crazy cars of our own. So we started with the Corvette. You guys will have noticed on the last episode, we made the Corvette even more extreme, and that's not the end of it before it heads to Europe this year. If you haven't watched that video, here's a little teaser.
Holy! Oh my god.
Fire in the hole. Fire in the hole. Oh! So the Corvette was pretty wild. But in essence, it's almost too wild that you can't just put a normal car beside it. So we thought about building something insane. And our first thought was, we'll engine swap this, we'll engine swap that, we'll build something JDM. But to be honest, we didn't know what to build. On a flight between LA and heading towards Australia, I went on Facebook Marketplace, my favorite place in the whole world. And all of a sudden, up pops a Lamborghini Gallardo. Now, I'm not too interested in Lamborghini Gallardos in stock form. I love the car massively as my teenage dream, but we've been into JDM stuff for so long now, it's hard to go back. So I was about to flick by when I noticed one little phrase, 2JZ. So I checked it out. Now, we couldn't afford this car, but it never went out of my head. After a couple of weeks, I said, you know what? I really want to buy that Lamborghini Gallardo. So we had to fly all over the world, to SEMA, to New Zealand, to all of our partners, to everybody who has sponsored us in the last while and say, look, we have this dream to build this crazy car to go drifting around Europe. And thankfully, they were on board. So we gave the owner of this car, Dean, a call, and Dean is a little bit of a genius. And I'm gonna show you what he's done to this car to make it this wild. Okay, so there's a story behind every car that has a conversion like this. So Dean found this car, it was on an auction site, it had the V10, but it was blown up. And most Gallardos around 50 or 60,000 miles suffer the same problem. It's why they depreciate so highly in value, is because they all have some sort of engine trouble, especially these early Gallardos. So he picked the car up quite cheap with the engine gone and then decided he was going to do something very, very different with it. He's a very talented mechanic and engineer, and his job was to try and fit a 2JZ in here. You might think that that was a challenge, but one of the biggest challenges was this car was automatic. So it was an automatic V10 that he then had to convert to manual and then fit on a 2JZ. So this is the second 2JZ that he fitted. This is a fully forged engine, which is why we mentioned earlier that with all of the upgrades we're going to do, we think we can break 1,000 horsepower in this car, which would be incredible for a drift car and incredible for a Lamborghini that's not powered by a V10 or twin turbos. And obviously you can see 2JZ, big turbo, straight through exhaust. And all that stuff is pretty standard. You don't need, if you're a car guy or a JDM fan, you're going to know all that stuff. But this is the bit that was most impressive to me. How do you make the automatic gearbox into a manual? Well, what he did was he CNC'd his own shifter setup at the front of the car. He installed a Civic Type R clutch pedal, which was a cheap solution. And this gearbox in automatic or manual form is actually the same gearbox except for different linkage. And what he did was he decided to link his shifter at the front all the way to the gearbox, and he couldn't find any linkage long enough, so he used, I don't know how to say this, something from a jet ski. So this is actually a Sea-Doo gear linkage in the back of the car, which works absolutely perfectly. So as you can see, the car is very cleverly engineered. It runs smooth, it drives, the gauges work, the speedos work, everything works as it should as a Lamborghini. It just has a 2JZ and it starts on the button. Now, for us to get a car to this level, with all of the thinking and engineering that Dean's put in, would probably take us over a year. And it took him a long time to build this car too. With the season approaching very quickly, this was the hard part done for us that we can build upon and make this car crazier from here. So with all of our sponsors, existing and new, which you'll see in the next episode, on board, we were close to being able to afford this Lamborghini. However, it wasn't cheap and we were still a little bit way off. So what we decided before Christmas was to basically give away our beautiful red airbagged PS13. And a lot of you guys will be thinking, why did we give that car away? Well, now you have the answer. This is what it was all for. Everything we had in the whole company we put into trying to buy this, get the money together, and at one moment we had enough money to buy it. And then I pulled the trigger, I made the deal with Dean, and I sent Blaine and Craig over to collect the car while I was in Ibisu in Japan. Here's how they got on.
Today is a very exciting day. Me and Craig are on a bit of a road trip. We are currently somewhere in the middle of England. We have brought an empty trailer, and that can only mean one thing. I'll let you take a guess at what it is. Just before we show you what the car is, we're going to take a quick wander around the garage of the guy who is selling it, and he's got some pretty cool stuff in here. Straight in front of me, an RB MX-5. Classic thing. Big compound turbo truck. Absolutely insane little drag car here. I'm not even sure what it is, but it looks sorted. Drop in the comments below if you know what the car is. I'm sorry that I don't, but I can't know every single car. And you know he means business if he's got one of these. With a parachute. Right, enough of that. Now for the real reason we came here. So, ladies and gentlemen, here we are. nice. So it is a 2004 Gallardo. Unusual interior colour choice, but I think that's not really what matters. We've been saying in the office for years that one day we'll have a Lamborghini, one day we'll have some car like this, and yeah, here we are, finally, at last. It's a bit surreal, but here she is. First time driving a Lambo, was it, Craig?
It is, Blaine, it is. I don't know how I feel about this. I've actually already went out in the car with Dean, who used to own it, and he's a bit of a nut job. He scared me.
And that's saying something if he scared you, so.
I'm a little bit nervous.
Are you?
Yeah. I don't get nervous.
I think that's pretty understandable in this circumstance, to be fair.
Are we like
And you're all clear? Yeah. This is insane. Me, she's so rocking. Oh my god.
That was third gear, literally just tipping.
Jesus Christ, Chris.
It's been a long time since honestly his car scared me, like look at me playing that. There's the police looking at us.
Yeah.
Oh, this thing's nuts.
That was sketchy.
What a car.
Having the time of his life. While away in Australia with the LZ1 Tour, Dave saw this pop up on Marketplace, and yeah, one thing led to another pretty quickly, as well as it usually happens around here, and yeah, we were sent on the mission to come grab the car. So I think it's already a done deal, really, isn't it?
I mean, we have to work a deal first. You know me, I don't go without getting a bargain.
Well, we've brought Craig for a reason, so let's see if we can finalise all the little details and get this baby back on our trailer and back home today. Nice jocks, lad.
I think I have everything.
Yeah.
If I don't, it sounds like a me problem.
Have a safe trip home.
Thanks very much, yeah.
Here, look.
And
Thanks, yeah.
yeah, much appreciated.
Thanks for letting us have a look around and
Thanks very
everything.
much, no problem. And yeah, any queries or whatnot, just drop me a message.
Hopefully it's all plain sailing and you don't hear from us again, but you know.
Yeah, well, there's always the future.
Right, lads, very
Deadly.
much.
Appreciate it.
Alright, take it easy. Never did I think I'd be coming to collect one of these. Let's get to that ferry.
So, you would think, right? There's a 2JZ in this car. All the hard work is done. It's not done. So believe me when I say this is going to get out of hand very, very fast. We are going to put a wide body Liberty Walk kit on this car, but if you're having a wide body kit, you got to have crazy wheels. And we have designed, alongside our main sponsor, Strom Wheels, a one-of-one set of wheels that are different at the front to the back, three-piece, and very in tune with the heritage of Lamborghini. You'll see all that in a future episode. We've also partnered up with FDF Race Shop, who are going to be doing a full custom angle kit for this car, front suspension, rear suspension. We even have guys in California 3D scanning and printing aero parts that we're going to put on this car before it's finished that I don't think have been seen anywhere else. This is just the starting point for this project, but there is a lot of work to be done in the next 2 or 3 months. But before we round off this reveal of our new project, I just want to say that this is not an easy thing to do. We're not the biggest channel in the world. We love cars, we love being excited about cars, and we wanted to do something that we were totally out of our comfort zone. When it comes to Skyline, Silvias, 86s and all that good stuff, we kind of know or have people around us that know a lot about it. This, we have no idea how this is going to go, so your support and your kind words are definitely going to be needed. I want to say a big thank you to all of our family and friends who have supported us in making it what is a hugely risky financial decision here, and also to all of our sponsors and partners who are all 100% in to help us make one of the wildest cars anyone's ever built in Europe. And to me, this is a massive milestone for Drift Games because we started off with very simple projects, very simple cars, and this is definitely the most advanced. And we're all a little nervous about it, whether or not we can actually make it work, whether or not we can actually make it as exciting and cool to build up all the hype. Yeah, so we've got a nervous couple of weeks ahead. We've done a lot of research. We're hoping it'll all go together, and you don't want to miss an episode on the series. And in between building this, we're also going to be building a ton of other stuff for different purposes, all part of that master plan this year. And in the next episode, you're going to see a new partner to the channel, one that made a lot of this possible. And it kind of means that we get to have a bit of fun in this and get to drive it in a very erratic way very, very soon. You don't want to miss it. Join us on the next episode, and we hope you guys are excited as we are for the Drift Games Drift Lamborghini. We have a Lamborghini. We actually have a Lamborghini.